my friends, how are you? I'm Laura and this is video number 2 of Time to Fly 30 days of belly dance with veil. In this video we will see the size, the measure of your veil, we will see how to hold it in your hands, and we will talk about also posture, that is much important. So let's start from the veil. Here I have mine. I will dedicate an entire video, an entire class just talking about the different type of veils with different type of textiles that you can choose for your dance. But in this case, this time I choose a silk one because I love this type and actually I use only this. But we will talk also about the other type because maybe at home you have a different veil or you prefer for some reason to use a different kind of material. Of course, any material has some small differences in the effects when you dance, when you do your moves, and we will talk about it. The silk has the pro that is very light, so it moves faster. It's very easy also to use because it's light, so you will not feel it really in your arms as heavy. But this is also a contrast because sometimes it's too much light and you have to control it very well with your movement. You don't have to be too much fast or too much slow, so you have really to take the size of your veil. And this is the most important thing that I can tell you, that whatever you choose, you have to get used to your veil. It has to become really your partner. You have to use it much to understand how it answers to your input. Let's talk, and another thing about the silk veil that is very easy, is very, how to say, charming because it's light, but has another problem that it doesn't have a border. Normally all the other veils have sequin border, and this is useful to catch it, to understand where it's finishing, but have some other problems. But in this case we don't have, because it's cut, you see, doesn't have really a border, and this can be a problem because sometimes it's so light and you can lose it from your hands, so you have to be a little bit careful. Anyway, let's talk about the size of the veil, and this is important because if you have too much small veil, I forgot, whatever you decide to use, check what you have at home. You can find it easy, or you can do it by yourself. Go in a shop of textile and choose the most light material you can find, because it has to be light as it has to catch the air. If you don't have nothing at home now to train, it's okay also a scarf. The important that has to be very long, and then when you have the occasion you will buy the correct one according with your fitting with your costume. So let's talk about the measure now. Bring your veil or the scarf or whatever you have. Here we don't have a fixed measure because depends much on you, on the shape of your body. So the measure has to be connected to the length of your arms and also to your toe. So in my case, but anyway, in any case, you should open the largest part of the veil, the largest you have. Catch it with your arms, with your hands, put your arms straight, really straight, and in this case, as you can see, you have to have in both sides a part of veil who comes out empty. So it doesn't have to be the same length of your arms, but has to be a little bit more than a little bit longer, or it will be impossible for you really to move. If it's too much short, really you cannot dance, so it will be a problem. How much longer? Let's say in my case here we have, I don't know, maybe 20 centimeter or even 30 in each side. Let's say 30 and 30. So I check the size of my arms plus 30 centimeters, let's say, in each side. It doesn't matter, but don't stay, it doesn't have to be too few, it will be a problem. Of course, it doesn't have to be too long, it will be a problem too. And so this is the length. Let's talk about the toe, the height of your veil. And also in this case you will check it with your body. So in the same position you open up your veil more than you can and you see where it finished. In this case, for example, I could finish more or less in this position. It should be a little bit more long, let's say like this. Don't go over, it doesn't have to touch the floor, absolutely, it doesn't have to touch your feet. Mine maybe is a little bit shorter for me, but I found this. And if you found this size would be better, honestly will be more effect in the space when you dance. But of course, if you are many dancers dancing together, you are a group, you dance in group, the space maybe is not too much big. So in this case I suggest you to have a shorter veil, so you will manage the space in a much more comfortable way. And this was about the measure and the material. Check again the silk, very light, let's say, is also transparent, and the veil has to be transparent because sometimes we want to show the movement under the veil, so it doesn't have to be really covering our body. After this, let's talk about how to hold it in your hands. So bring your veil or what you found and keep it in your hands. Of course, you have to be sure to keep it in a balanced way with the same size from one hand and the other hand. Open your arms straight more than you can, and you don't catch it like anything because it's ugly to see. Actually, there are many dancers who use many techniques, many ways to hold their veil, and you have maybe to find also yours which is more comfortable for you. I suggest you, at least is what I do, because I feel better, I feel more comfortable like this, and it also comes more elegant if you keep it between the index and the medium finger in this way, like you have a cigarette. Let's say, I don't smoke, but I think it's like this. So 2 fingers, I will show you in this way. And so when you are with the veil in the front, you will not really see both, you will see only the index maybe, and all the rest of your arms are free. So it will be like this. It's very important to have the thumb free, the first finger, because this will be the one who manages if we have to make it shorter, longer, move it, and blah blah blah. So, like a cigarette, between the second and the third finger, and when we put it in the back, we will see after how we do it. The veil will cover actually also your index, and it will come, the effect will become like is on your palm, on your arm, in an elegant way. And your thumb finger, you can put it a little bit down, as always when you dance. So this is the best way to use it, to move it. Sometimes we have to keep it shorter, sometimes we have to keep it longer, and you have to get used to use your fingers and your hands and to feel your veil. For this reason, when you don't have a border or a sequin border, it will be a little bit more difficult, but it's not impossible at all. It's very easy. Now I want to talk about something much important that sometimes I see is very forgotten from the teachers in classes. We don't give maybe during the dance classes value enough. That is the posture of your body when you dance with veil. Veil is a prop. It's something that you add to your dance. So it's like you have to imagine it like an extension of your body. It means, because I see it too much and really is not nice when you see that, because you are using the veil, and maybe the veil is cool, how you are using it, but you forget your body and you think it's not more important. The important is the veil. No. The body remains important and become more important because it has to give the support to the veil. Imagine that the veil is just the extension of your body. So if your body is not really in a good position, it will reflect also in the veil and all your dance. So when we use the veil, it's very important to use the body in the special way, especially the upper body, who becomes more important than the hips, because when we have the veil, we want to put attention up in the air more than down in our hips. In this case, and also to avoid to have pain in our back, because if you don't use the arms and the upper body in the proper way, you after a class you will feel bad in your back. So I suggest you really to take care of this. When I use the veil, of course I use the arms, because the veil is moved by the arms, and the position of the arms becomes crucial, important. So I put a moment my veil in the floor, so when I use my arm open, if normally when I dance I have this position, when I use the veil has to be sometimes more stretched. It means that we have also to stretch totally our upper body so much to give the more space to our veil, because this will create a great effect. So, more than normal, we have to pull in our belly button and to keep our back and our body really long to the sky. We have to separate all the bones in our spine, and in this way we will look like better for the veil, but also we will avoid all the pain in our back. Otherwise, you will feel it. When you dance, your arm doesn't have to open too much. It becomes easy to fall in this mistake, like to fall down with your back open too much. It's like a feeling of tiredness, and this, believe me, is not good for your back and not for your dance. So take care every time, and more than normal, that your arms has to stay always not too much open, straight, yes, but a little bit forward, your belly button in, and your upper body really up. So it's an amazing training also for your back and for your body, that you will feel it also for the belly dance. When you dance, your shoulder has to stay down more than normal. So if you have still problems with your arms, your back, your posture, I suggest you also to check back my 30 days technique program. You will find all this information more detailed also for belly dance. And another thing, the position of the arms sometimes are here. For example, I take my veil back, catch my veil, I put it in the back. We will see after all this exchange. Now I'm interested only in the positions. So when I open my arms, I have to imagine to straighten them a little bit more than normal. Like I'm checking that I'm not taking it correctly. It has to be more in the middle. Okay, so like this. Great. And so straight it more, but not open more, for the problem of the pain, as I told you. When I go up, I can stay in this position, for example, and also here I have to pull in and make my back longer as I can. Sometimes I can be here, it's the same idea. Sometimes I can be here. It doesn't matter if the veil goes front of my face, it's also interesting, don't worry. And you see that I have to take care much the position of my arms and of my hands. Sometimes I can go in the first position, for example, if I'm doing some movement here, and I have to keep a really great shape of my arms, because the veil make any mistakes more visible, but also can make any good things more interesting, more beautiful. Or sometimes I can have this position, that is not this. You take careful, because when we use the veil, we don't want to clean the floor, so we don't want to leave our arms like that and tired. We always have to give a shape, a meaning in the movement and control them so much through our back. And this was maybe the most important thing that I have to say about veil, but it's not finished here. What about the legs? As always, we keep our knees a little bit bent, but in this case, when we have veil, we use the bend so much, the plie. Sometimes we are really to manage the plie very well, and never forget it, because this will help much the movement of the veil and will avoid all your pains in the back. And the last thing that we will focus in will be the upper body, the torso. That means that we will use it in every side and forward and back, and of course our pelvis doesn't have to move, because this part is upper body that will really make most of the movement of the veil. We will see all this in the next video, where we will do a short warm-up and some exercises to make more flexibility in our upper body, in purpose to dance perfectly with the veil. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me any comments, because I would like really to answer you and to read from you what you think. And see you tomorrow for another special class only about veil. It's time to fly!